What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What kind of ignorant shit is that?
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You idiot, you fool!
Hey, dummy!
This is the Ignorance is Blessed podcast.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Oh my gosh, I just realized you got all this. Joan Rivers is so freaking awesome.
She's
love her
the
together every
best.
day. She is one of the best comics of all time.
I mean, she really is. I'm going to clap us in.
You stupid asshole! When that guy was like, my son is blind! And then she was like, I don't care! My father was blind, you dumb asshole!
You guys, wait.
Are we recording?
We're recording now. We're live
We're talking
with
about
Joan Rivers.
You stupid asshole! Hey, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen. I mean, I probably saw this in
Yeah.
like 2012, but I
There's a
don't remember
video.
it, and somehow it's so much funnier right now.
No,
Coming
there's
out
a-
of your mustache face.
Yeah, my mustache, right? I just be a Joan Rivers impersonator with the mustache. It's like, yeah, that guy that has the creepy Jeffrey Epstein flightless mustache.
Pedophile Rivers?
Yeah, pedophile. That's your name? You're a Vegas impersonation? Dude, we're gonna go see Pedophile Rivers.
You guys, this is crazy. We got front row seats to Pedophile Rivers. You blow up. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you stupid ass. It's like it's Pedophile Rivers. Yeah.
It's just you in a terrible blonde wig.
Yeah, and just with your mustache. You're like, there's no business like show business. You like kick up your leg. No, there's a Joan Rivers video though, to where she's talking. I think she's talking about blind people. I don't remember. But there's a guy who stands up. He's like, my son is blind, and then he's like, how dare you? And she goes, my father was blind. You stupid asshole, get out of here. And like she just snaps on this heckler, and then he just walks out of the theater, and everyone starts applauding.
That's so
It's
funny.
probably, I can't remember whether it's blindness or his son was missing a leg. Or something. But she was like, you stupid asshole.
Was it
It's so
suicide?
funny. What?
Was it suicide?
I don't think so.
Her husband killed himself.
Really?
Yeah.
She's a
He almost
great
laughed.
comedian,
Like,
but she's probably a nightmare.
like it was,
She's like, why is the dishes in the sink?
like it was her fault.
Yeah, finally, he's just like,
Some peace.
she just chipped away. I feel like Joan Rivers probably just chipped away at her husband.
Oh.
They just roller skated off of a rooftop.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Goodbye, cruel world, and then just skates off of a roof.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. It's so funny.
Okay, wait. You guys, this is Matt Jones.
This is Jessica Michelle Singleton.
I haven't had you on the podcast before, have I?
I don't think so. We've been talking about doing it for 4 years.
Yeah, since
Which is so easy to do in LA. It's so easy to be like, talk about getting lunch.
I hate it.
For
But
like
you're
20
right.
years,
Like it's
you know.
with people I want to see.
I know, same. You're one of my favorite people in LA, and like you make me laugh so much, and we always have fun when we hang out.
I don't laugh
But
at
I
all
feel
when you're
like
around.
You do sometimes. It's fake laugh. She's doing the.
I've been crying for the entire beginning of the episode
Yeah.
from laughing. No, yeah, it's
fake. Yeah, we probably go like 6 months without seeing each other. Maybe like 4 months, 5 months, maybe
Yeah.
a year. I don't know.
I know, it's crazy. Just giant gaps and we jump back in.
I know. There's no seasons in LA.
No, you
So
can't
you're
keep
just
track
like,
of.
I'll see you. Are we still going to get that lunch? It's like we've been trying since 2010.
Yeah, it's been decades. Someday we'll have lunch together.
That's why nobody. I used to do a stand-up bit about that. How nobody in LA grows up because we don't have seasons. So like, there's no winters to show you how old you're getting.
Oh my god.
That's why there's like women with like tramp stamps of like a Model T Ford, and they're like, I'm still waiting to get my co-star on the Andy Griffith Show. But they don't.
I'm gonna be somebody.
I'm gonna be somebody. Still trying to get my under 5.
You know, when I was your age, cigarettes were considered a healthy choice.
Yeah, my doctor used to ash when he would do open heart surgery on me.
I loved it.
It's so funny because those people do exist.
I've played a corpse 5 times on NCIS.
Yeah. What's an Instagram account?
Do they exist? Because
Instagram?
no.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know if you've had this experience. I didn't realize how little I see old people in this city,
I
or
think
people
they
who
just get
really look
shamed.
old. Yeah.
They're all Armenian. Like, they're all immigrants. When I used to drive Uber, I'd like pick them up and they'd be like, like speaking in another language. And it was
Old
like,
white people are just sent
old
out to
white
sea.
immigrants. Yeah, they're like, I think they just want to come to LA because it's like
Hollywood. I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know. It's just like the first thing they can see on a map.
I know.
California's
I
huge.
feel bad for anyone who is like, I finally made it to America, and they think this is as good as it gets, and they're trapped here paying so much money, and they're like, America, and it's like, you
Milk
could
is
go one
$75
state
here.
over, and we probably have way more money. What do you?
I would leave. I want to leave LA now.
It's
Do you still
I'm-
like LA?
It's golden handcuffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good things. I'm not gonna leave, but I want to. I just silently brood.
I honestly, if I didn't have the Comedy Store, I might try somewhere else.
Would
but
you go to Austin?
I know people have a lot of feelings about it, but yeah, I think I might. I would go to Austin or New York, but I might go to Austin because I've been down there once since the new club opened, and there was already a scene in Austin. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize is, people outside of comedy are like, Joe Rogan brought comedy to Austin. He's objectively brought a big club there, and there is
Yes.
like more conversation around comedy, but there was already like a pretty bustling scene, but it's just way bigger now. And I was there for a week last February, and the amount of stage time I was able to get, I was like, oh, it's great. Because it's also like I don't want to say this, the ceiling is lower. So like there's like a huge gap between who's brand new and who's like really good, but there's like not that many really good people.
There's not that many good comics.
No, I mean, because there's a lot of people who probably have promise and potential, but in terms of experience and being like developed as a comedian and like someone you could book to headline a room in a pinch, you know what I mean? Where I feel like those can be a little bit of a dime a dozen here, and especially in New York. There, it's like you're a little more coveted. So
Definitely.
spots aplenty. I felt
Right,
like a
if
god.
You're good, if you're good, they just make a golden calf of you and start worshiping it because
Yeah.
there's nobody there that's that
Well, and
great.
especially if you're
I mean,
in.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, it's like
'cause I
there's
haven't spent enough time there.
there's the handful of people who've moved down
There's
there.
a lot of really funny people like Derek Poston. I know
He's
is out
so
there,
funny.
Those guys are
Asan's so funny. Yeah, it's like
I don't know who else is there.
no
David.
one.
Well, David's hilarious.
Oh, David Lucas.
I love David.
Is he
Lucas.
down there?
He's so funny. He was one of my you were one of my first friends in LA, and so was David Lucas.
Oh.
And he'd always be like, he always say stuff. He'd be like, "Why your head shaped like that?"
I mean, he was just always bullying us. And we're like, we love you, David.
Yeah, he's so funny though. He'd be like, I remember like we were driving in the car one time. We were by Hollywood Bowl, and he goes, "You look like Carl Winslow." And then the guy turned around and looked at me. He goes, "Your head is shaped like an alien." And then his like this
It's
black
just
dude,
a
he goes,
random
"That's
man."
rude." He goes, "That's rude." And then he'd like David would just like say stuff to people that's like so crazy.
That's
know?
so fun.
It's so
Yeah, he
funny.
used to. Did he live with you for a little while?
Yeah.
In
he did.
Koreatown, and he'd throw fruit off the roof at the parking
Oh
lot.
no, we
people.
lived in the same building.
Oh,
We
that's
were
right.
both-
Because I was like, how did he
Right.
live with you?
He did live with me for a while. I remember I convinced him to take a telemarketing job. And I was like, there's so much money in this. And he lost everything. He lost his apartment when he took the telemarketing
Lost his
job.
girlfriend. He lost his
I
life.
think he did actually. I can't remember.
There's
what
so
it
much
wasn't
money
his
in
girlfriend,
this.
But I was like telling him, I was like, this is a really, really great thing. And then I remember he lost his apartment because I was like, the money like just stopped coming in as soon as he started working there. So I felt bad. So he was like living in my living room for a while.
You're
This
like,
was,
I got you the job and it paid nothing, so now I have to let you live with me.
Well, he was one of my best friends too, but it's like
That's
it's. I mean, he was like throwing some money, you know.
At least
But the
he
thing is,
didn't take
yeah.
up a lot of space.
Yeah, no, not at all, not at all, not at all. Well, it was a 1 bedroom, which like still is like the biggest apartment that I've had. Like I'm like a 1 bedroom.
Oh, well,
'Cause I live in,
nowadays
a
it's like
studio in Hollywood, and I still pay $1,200, and it's like
you're paying $1,200 for a studio.
yeah, but
You have to
it's-
hold on for dear life.
right, but it's
I hate that that's a deal.
it's a gross studio too.
Is
It's $1,200 for a gross studio.
there air conditioning?
No. No, I just have like 60. It's like a telemarketing office. I have like 16 box fans.
What's with you and
Just going on.
telemarketing?
I don't know. It follows me everywhere I go.
I feel more at home if I have a cubicle. You're sleeping in a
Putting-
cubicle.
Yeah, you're trying to like get yourself booked on the road, and then you just put on like a headset, and you're like, "Boy, have I got an offer for you."
Like,
You're
I
just
listen
hanging
to
out on the-
binaural beats, but you only have
Yeah.
that one ear headpiece, so it's only
Oh,
coming in
yeah.
one side.
I used to listen to binaural beats.
Do you still do that? I mean, you're the one who told me about them, and
We were doing
at the
that
time I was
show
like,
at a bar or something.
Matt's getting into his weird spiritual stuff, but
Yeah,
I
was
like started doing
wong,
it.
wong, 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 and I went on stage and just talked really slow, and I think the audience thought I was drunk because I was listening to binaural beats. I don't listen to it anymore.
No, what was the
No.
why? What made you stop?
I think I got addicted to self-help. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like when I first moved here, I saved up a bunch of, because I was a greeter at the hospital in Southern Illinois.
Greeter.
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
saddest job on
Yeah,
earth?
there were like people that would come in, and I had like a line of wheelchairs, and I would just go, and I had a vest that said, "How may I help you?" I was like 19. Wait, no. I did it when I was 19, and then I did it again when I was 23 before I moved to LA.
They probably loved you, but what a sad
Oh, it was a
job.
super sad job. Like, I like get people in, and then they've got like the bobblehead thing going
Oh,
on. Like, do you
no.
want a wheelchair? And they're like, you know. And
You're
I would,
like,
go
this
get a
is the
wheelchair.
end.
Yeah, I'm like,
Goodbye,
the
for
end.
we're bringing you upstairs.
it's like weird to know that you can cough on someone and kill them. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
so
you,
much
like, break
pressure.
yeah, like you sneeze and you break their bones.
Yeah,
You're
their
like,
necks snaps
Their
while
necks
you're
snaps.
pushing. We lost another one.
Manslaughter. It's like you got 25 to life. It's like, what'd you do? It's like I sneezed on Eleanor.
I sneezed on a senior citizen.
I sneezed on a senior citizen. Their
Passed 'em.
heart caved in. It's like,
Just turned to dust immediately.
yeah. And, then
And
just
back
dust
from
goes-
whence they came. It's just smelly cigarette ashes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was a funny job. So anyways, I saved up money
To move to, for the
about-
big move.
for about 6 months, yeah. And then I moved here and I didn't have a job. So what I would do, because when I was in Chicago, I used to drink a lot. And
Remember
would,
these stories?
Yeah, I used to drink a ton. I drink in the shower.
Were you sober by the time you got here?
For the most part, yeah. And I do 12-step programs, but I'm not an alcoholic. Like, I probably have like 5 drinks a year. Like, so
Okay.
I can have, but I did
Okay.
have a drinking problem.
At
but
the
I was-
time.
At the time. And so, but I had just really bad anxiety. So I would drink in the shower before going to my acting classes because I majored in theater, which was a dumb major.
You know, at least it was a good investment
Yeah, it
of
was a great
money.
investment.
At least any casting director has ever been like,
you
but
have a
do you have a
theater
degree?
Do you have a degree in theater?
Isn't that fucking upsetting?
It's very, it's
They
for-
should be like,
It's to appease your Midwestern parents to be like, you got a degree?
and you're
you
like,
know?
it's like, I never wanted to do this.
And there was a guy, one of my acting teachers, he had like a crooked wig. His name was Dale, and he was always like, he was like this
You had
fat,
an acting teacher named
fat gay guy named Dale.
Dale, and you were like, this isn't gonna,
Fat gay
this
guy
isn't gonna
named-
lead to success.
Yeah, a fat gay guy named Dale, and his wig was always crooked. And this was Columbia College. Like, it was a good
In Chicago, right? My
supposed to be
boyfriend
a-
went there for 1 year
Yeah,
for
yeah.
entertainment
I think I talked to him about that.
management. Yeah, but then he drank
like,
too
this
much, and
is-
he's like, I gotta switch
Something
schools.
about Chicago makes you drink.
Yeah.
But his wig was crooked, and then he was always talking. He's like, I was in the original production of Hairspray. And like, he would just talk about himself the whole period. So anyways, I saved up a bunch of money. I would drink before classes and all that. I stopped drinking when I came to LA. And I got addicted to self-help. That became the next thing. So I would hypnotize myself for about 3 hours a day. Literally, I would download hypnosis recordings, and I would hypnotize myself. And you know this is true because I tried to get you to do it. Remember?
I know, I do remember.
I burnt you like 40 CDs of like hypnosis drugs.
And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I started listening to one, and I was like, Matt needs help.
Yeah.
Did I help you? No, I just quietly tucked them away.
Yeah. You just quietly burned them.
I was like, honestly, I was like, he's really dedicated.
Yeah, well, I wanted so bad to be a great comic, and I had anxiety, which is why I drank. So I would hypnotize myself for like 3 hours. I would do Tony Robbins stuff, and then I would do cognitive behavioral therapy. And I would do probably like 6 hours of self-help a day. And then I would go out at open mics at night.
And ruin it all.
Exactly. But I would smash because all day long I'm like pumping myself up.
Yeah, that you're getting like, you
You're
would murder.
Yeah, I was getting delusional confidence, but I had to do it like 6 hours a day.
Just to get enough
Just
confidence
to get
to
enough
go
confidence
out.
to go do it, but I would smash.
You would.
And so
So
I
it
got
works.
addicted to self-help, but it's like at what cost? Like, you can't be successful and do that all day.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
you
eventually you're gonna have to go work.
Yeah, you have to have money. Yeah,
You have to have money. And so
Unless you
I
have a
got-
fucking trust fund or something.
Of
But
course,
it's like
yeah. And so I got more into like the 12-step route eventually and that kind of thing because I just realized I had,
self-help for hobos.
Yeah, so yeah,
They let anyone into those.
they do
meetings.
let anybody into those.
Hey,
rooms.
the only requirement for membership here is you want to be here, really. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll say it's something else, but they're not going to kick you.
No, they're not gonna kick you out and be like.
I've seen people in
"Oh,
blackouts at AA meetings. It's,
Have you?
It's a zoo.
Are you an AA?
No, but I used to get dragged to them by my mom.
Your mom would
'cause
take you?
She was in AA. No, she was in AA, and
Oh,
she
I
would
thought
bring
she
me as
was
a
like-
kid.
She was like, "We're gonna go on a field trip."
Yeah, no, it wasn't like an
And it's all these
intervention.
people that are
I
like,
probably
"I wanna
could be in
drink."
like adult children's of alcohol. I've tried to go to like
ACA.
Al-Anon and ACA,
ACA.
but I like, and
Some of them are a little weepy.
yeah,
You know
and
what I mean? Like you're kind of like, "You pussy."
yeah, and I know
That's
that probably
horrible,
there's
but-
a part of me, and like when I go, "What a pussy, this fucking baby," whatever. That's probably something that deeply actually needs healing. That like that's like a wall, but.
Yeah.
I went to a couple and I was like, what, are we just living in our sadness? Just that your entire existence is my dad drank. It's like,
Yeah, and
get
you're 80.
over
You're
it.
80.
The man has been dead for years. Move on.
100%. You know what I think works?
But
about
some
those
people
meetings? It's
need the community.
steps. It's
Okay,
the
the
steps. that work.
steps. Really?
The steps are what work. The 12 steps. The meetings are dope. I like going to them. I will go to them. But the steps is like what works. Because like after... And the other thing too that I didn't like about 12 step, and I'm still in 12 step. I'm in like 3 of them.
Are you willing to say which ones?
I'm not supposed to.
Oh, okay. I
Because-
didn't know. I
because
don't know what the rules are.
The-
Then
the
don't.
rules
Yeah,
are, it's like at the level of press, radio, and films. I'll give you a hint though. I did one for money.
yeah.
I did.
What? The guy who spent 6 hours a day doing self-help tapes needed help with
Needed-
and ran his friend into the ground financially?
Needed help with money.
I can't believe the telemarketing guy is struggling with money. I'm sorry.
So one for money, and then the other one
2 for the show.
two for the show. The other one was like relationship type
Okay.
stuff, like you know what I mean, like acting out in that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
way and stuff. So those were mainly the
Those are
addictions,
kind of
but
your things, yeah.
Those were my things, but it kind of just like sort of leveled me out, and then
He's a
just, like,
triple threat.
just therapy, you know?
Yeah.
What I mean? Like therapy works, but it's like
You like the steps though.
yeah, and I'm a big God guy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
He
it's,
loves God, you
yeah,
guys.
I really do. I
His
really
God
do.
is an awesome God.
Yes, God is an awesome God.
You
he
make me want to be
reigns.
more religious.
Do I really?
Yeah, I'm like, man, he just loves him.
Yeah, I really do love Jesus, and it's so funny too because like I've done a lot of hypocritical stuff too, and I remember I was like,
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't? But I remember like, Buddy, were you with us when it was me, you, Buddy Hutton, a few other people. We somehow ended up at an ABC rap party for ABC Family. This was like 2010 after we did a show at Garfano's.
I don't think was it like a Christmas party
It was a Christmas party, yeah.
with Christmas sweaters, and there was people like hanging out the windows, wasn't there? Didn't someone yell out a window?
I think so. All I remember is there was eggnog, and I just started drinking it. And before I knew it, I was like blacked out. And I remember there was this other comic, and she had her shirt off, and I had my shirt off, and we were like walking around, like, and I don't remember what we were doing.
You were
We were
just
like,
shirtless
we were
walking
just
around at
both
an
of us. I don't even think I was
ABC
flirting
rap
with her.
party.
I think we were literally just walking around, like, just like, and it was an ABC rap party, and I remember all the dudes who were actors on the show were like hitting on me. I was like, is everybody gay here?
Yeah, it's Hollywood.
And Buddy told me that like I went into his closet, like I went into like his closet and put on his big coat, and it was like floppy, and I like walked down. I'm like, you don't think Jesus is mad at me, do you? And like I was just wasted drunk, you know?
Oh my God, that's.
yeah, it's so crazy.
I mean, that's so funny. God, I haven't seen
so
Buddy
many funny
in.
stories that we have together.
I mean, so many. Give me just a second because I want to
no, you're good.
pause this and make sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, no.
Just let go and let God.
Let go and let God.
let.
LG
Oh
and
wait,
G.
let go and let God.
Let go and let God. LG and G.
LG squared. Okay, I don't know where we left off or what
I
I'm
am
doing.
staring at that box that says Fred McGriff. and I'm like,
Bobblehead, it's signed. Yeah.
Who is Fred McGriff? That
Fred
sounds like such a
McGriff?
funny made-up name.
Scruff McGruff, it's Crime Dog, man. He's the
Wait,
greatest
is it for real?
baseball player of all time.
Oh, I thought he did the voice for Scruff McGruff.
Oh, no. Actually, I don't know
It
if
sounds very appropriate. Who does
they
the voice-
called him Crime Dog. And to be honest, I now realize I don't actually know if he and Scruff McGruff have anything to do with each other. I just have always lumped them together because his last name's McGriff, and I just realized that. Can someone tell
Fred
me?
McGriff. That sounds like a lie you would like if you did go to a 12-step and you didn't want them to know your real name. It's like
I'm Fred McGriff.
I'm Fred McGriff, and just telling stories about how you beat your wife.
He's a Hall of Fame baseball player.
Oh, that's so funny. I don't know anything about baseball.
You failure to American
I know.
society.
I am no American.
Wait, I cut us
I
off.
used to be.
Well, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. So
You
what-
used to be. Go.
I used to be somebody. Damn it.
Wait, now I'm afraid I didn't start the camera. Hold on.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, we're fine. Keep talking.
Okay. Cool. Remember when every white guy did that in the early 90s whenever they would just like flip the camera off?
Oh yeah, and then I remember my
that.
brother getting real technical about like it's not the middle finger if my thumb's out, and it's like, shut up.
What's so funny is, did you cuss when you were a kid?
Oh, I behind my parents' back, I was shit, fuck.
Did you guys sit in a circle at school? I remember like there was, because I grew up in like a southern area, and like boys would just sit in a circle
And light a cross on fire.
No, yeah, no, yeah, we did that too, but that was okay.
That's the weekend. That's not at school.
That's the weekend. That's not at school.
Yeah, that's Boy Scouts.
That's extracurriculaur activities. You know what I mean?
Extracurricular activities.
Extracurricular activities. Our baseball coach would do that to the team next door. You know what I mean?
Gotta
To
intimidate
Fred
him,
McGriff's
kids.
house. Yeah.
It's funny. Oh, no. It's a T-ball team. He's
Yeah,
just
it's a
out of
T-ball.
control.
It's like, man, these boys mean business.
Deranged, racist Indiana coach.
Yeah, they're like in 4th grade. Coaches, I got a little bit of a coach's mustache,
Yeah.
but it's like thin. Like they have like the Little League coach mustache. It's like looks like they stapled a carpet to their upper
Yeah,
lip.
that thick ass, like, just, I don't even know what they're trying to hide there.
Probably just
They
just
grew up
burned
big
their
enough
upper
so
lip
their
off.
wives can't see their lip shaking because they're about to cry at all times.
Yeah,
like,
like
I
they're
can't fucking stand it anymore.
Our Little League, we had a Little League coach that was kind of like that. He would ground his son when his son didn't do well on Little League. And I remember
God.
he screamed from across the field. He goes, because he missed a grounder that was hit to him. He goes, "You're grounded."
That kid's so fucked up now.
Probably.
That's the person I saw in ACA.
yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
He
totally
yelled at
yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, walk it off.
Yeah, walk it off. Grow up. It's like what Little League coach didn't beat their kid?
Yeah, it's. Did
would-
you want to win or not?
He would use like Navy SEAL signals too to like tell us what to do. Like I remember he was trying to tell me to bunt. He was like,
He like
I
didn't
was,
tell
like,
you what
in-
the signals were.
I was
You're
like
just
9 maybe, and he was like, and then like I swang at the ball, and then he's like, "No,
You're grounded.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
like, "You're
grounds
grounded."
other people's kids.
He grounds other people's kids, and it's like I better not see you out on the weekend." And he tells your parents, you know,
He's
It was
grounded,
crazy.
and then he grounds your parents.
Right? It's like, dude, it's not our fault that your wife won't sleep with you.
Yeah,
You know what I
he's
mean?
just-
like,
this
you don't
is-
have to take it out on 8-year-olds.
This is all he has.
So crazy, so crazy.
It's like-
But what were we talking? I feel like we had.
oh
we
man,
talking
we
about
were on a
something.
roll. We were talking about. We were talking about. Oh, you were talking
Oh,
about the
self-help.
steps.
Self-help.
You feel like steps work.
Mhm.
I feel like that's what's always
Yeah.
drawn me into like, I'll check out a 12-step program
Mm-hmm.
because the idea of a system feels like it's like, oh, there's things
feels
you
good,
go
yeah.
through. That seems like you're doing work. And to me, I think maybe it's the workaholic in me. Went to a Workaholics Anonymous meeting
I
once.
went to one of those too.
Yeah, and at the end they're like, keep coming back at work because if you're working. I'm like, obviously not. This isn't. No, what?
Yeah. Yeah, Workaholics Anonymous. I went to one. I could honestly probably qualify for almost all of them
Oh, I mean,
easily because I just have an addictive brain.
yeah, I mean, that's a thing. There's people who just, well, that's so much of addiction is like, do you ever, I make a joke about this in my act, but like, do you quit being addicted to things, you just transfer your addiction to
transfer
something
the
else.
addiction. You do. And so with like 12-step, the idea is, speaking of God, is that the only thing that can actually help you is something greater than yourself.
Yeah.
That's like the whole model. But the thing is like when you do break down the steps, they actually do work. Well, they worked for me.
Did you get through all 12?
I got through all 12.
And then you quit going?
No, I still go. I still go to the money
So-
thing, but I do the Zoom.
So do they work?
I do it on the Zoom thing though. I mean, I think
I'm
that it
kidding.
works provided it's a system
Yeah.
that works for
And you
as
find
long as
3
keep doing it.
people to get in.
Yeah, you have to find 3 people. It's a pyramid scheme. Yeah, which
I have 12 sponsees.
I'm so susceptible to that kind of bullshit. Like there was
How you haven't been in any of the cult documentaries?
I don't know,
shocks
because
me.
there's people from my church that were telling me about something called a Healy, which is like a device that shoots energy into your body, and I was like, I want one. Like I just automatically be like, I need it. You know, it's very easy when you have that addictive thing because you're like, this is the thing that's gonna fix me. You look for anything outside of God. You're like, this is the thing.
You're
that
looking
will
for that
finally-
quick fix. That's something what's going to take care of it.
Yeah, and it's like the whole idea of fixing is even a myth too. Because
Well, yeah, it's
not
like it's never
you're-
going to be done. You're never like,
You're never gonna fix yourself.
I'm healed. And I remember when I realized that, and my initial reaction was just so much anger that like I'm like,
I can't be fixed.
there's not an amount of work I can do where I just go, we're repaired now. It's like, oh, it's a constant process. Fuck.
Yeah, you want it. Like I used to think, because I listen to Tony Robbins so much. I used to love.
You gotta get in the sauna and then get in the.
get into
Every
action.
morning I get in my cold plunge. I don't know what he sounds like. I
does
spend
sound
45 minutes in ice cold water, and then I get out and I wrestle a bear to the ground.
Yeah, and it's like
You're like,
I-
it works.
I talked to this girl who was like, yeah, he's real weird. She's like, I used to work for him. And then I was like, is he cool? And she goes, yeah, he's cool. But he's just spent like 40 something years unlocking the potential in his head. And he finally did. And it's like, that's what Tony Robbins is what happens.
Yeah,
Like he walks across fire in his seminars.
Yeah, like you see that and you go, do I want to be self-actualized?
Well, and then they said like in one of his seminars, he was like trying to show people that like mind over matter, that if they put their mind in a certain state, they could walk across coals. But so he made the coals like 3 times hotter than he normally does. They had to go to the emergency room.
It's because your mind wasn't strong enough. You signed the waiver. There's nothing you could do.
Imagine
He
if,
starts selling shoes made of ice.
Imagine if Tony Robbins killed your kid.
I mean, how
Like-
embarrassing if your kid died in a self-help seminar.
He walked across the coals and falls. I'm like, "Ah!" And then like just burns his face.
Yeah, and that's Darwinism. That's
Yeah.
only the strong survive.
Only Tony Robbins and the strong.
He's just doing eugenics, but with a
But
positivity
with
spin.
a positivity spin on it, 100%. So yeah, I think self-help is addicting.
Yeah,
And it's like, I feel like all comics kind of have that escape. Not all, but like a lot. Like,
so many of us.
it's like a lot of comics have problems with drinking, like drugs, alcohol.
We're trying to escape.
They're trying to escape something. So do you think that you have to be like a little screwed up? I'm not even gonna say to be a comic to be funny, because I feel like it's kind of generic to be like all comics are sad and suffering. But it's like,
Everyone's just like, you don't get the darkness.
yeah, the darkness that we go through, and it's like you're like, dude, just shut up. Stop trying to make yourself sound like a Marvel. Like a Marvel Legends character or whatever, you know?
Right? It's like, you're a
It's-
clown.
Yeah, you are.
You're a clown with a pill
You
problem.
go on stage with baggy pants and talk
Yeah.
about your dick.
You
Like, it's not that-
stink.
Yeah, you smell bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hard to be near. What do you?
Yeah, and then it's like, I've just been through so much.
I think
But to be funny, do you
I
think,
think
that you
to
have to have a
be-
little, like,
I
little
think to be
wacky?
hilarious, you
Yeah.
have to have some I don't even want to say like trauma. You just have to be maybe not fucked up isn't the right thing. I just think
You have to have trauma, I think.
I think
agree
you
with
got to
that.
have something. Oh, but I'm going
Yeah.
like, well, who fingered Robin Williams? You know? And welcome back to our murder mystery podcast. Who fingered Robin Williams?
Ooh, yeah, and be like, when Robin was a boy.
He was just so funny from the beginning. Somebody must have touched him.
Yeah, probably.
Touched by a man named Angel.
Instead of touched by touched by a man named Angel.
Touched
It's
by
a
an
guy
angel.
with a teardrop
It was his
tattoo
uncle. He was
Van Nuys.
yeah, he was in a
It's on
gang.
vacation in Van Nuys, and a guy in a hydraulics, like a cholo, just
Yeah.
named Angel.
I just think that there has to be, because I think I could be wrong here, philosophizing about comedy, but like I think what comes with a certain level of trauma, or like the funny that comes from trauma, is oftentimes it's a survival skill.
Uh-huh.
Like you're keeping the peace by being funny. You're, people who came from being bullied, they like turn it around. But also there's something maybe to like really good comedy. You have to not give a fuck in a certain, like, I don't give a fuck. But like there is an audacity to stand up where like, so much of it is like saying the things people are thinking, but nobody wants to
100%.
say. And I think,
Acting on your intrusive thoughts in a way.
yeah, and saying those out loud. The things that I think people without trauma have a filter that they go, oh, you can't say that. That's just not polite. But I think some of what, I don't want to say you need to have it, but I think what helps a lot of comedians be able to reach that point is you have so many things go wrong that you're like, well, I said the right thing and it still went wrong. So fuck you. Here's what I actually think. Yeah.
And that's so liberating. And that's actually, I think the thing that makes you want to become a comedian, you have to get over to be a great comedian. So like insecurity makes you want to be a comedian, but to be a great comedian, you have to get over that insecurity.
You have to stop worrying about like, what are they going to think of this? Or what are they going to spin this to say? Because I went through a couple years where when things got really cancel culturally, like I look back and there were definitely like, I pulled back.
Yeah, I did too.
And it was less about wanting to be canceled, but it was like this mind fuck of like, well, I was never doing this to hurt anyone. And I don't want to be framed as someone. I don't want someone to take one thing out of context. So I definitely had a brief period of time where I can tell that I was censored or scared of saying the thing. And I'm like, finally coming out of that. Thank fucking God.
It made me angry though, too. My comedy for a short time became like angry.
Well, yeah, because so much of it was like, so much was fake. It
was self-imposed on me, but like it was just fake virtue.
Yeah, it was censorship under disguised as being I'm such a good person.
So being a good person. Yeah, it was kind of like the way religious people were in the 90s. Remember how like people would like
bless your heart.
Like they would like protest Marilyn Manson and stuff like that. Those people became that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like when people are talking about how like religion causes all these problems in the world, it's like, no, it doesn't. There's just an innate thing that makes some people like be tribal. Tribalism. Like you can get rid of all the religion in the world if you want.
And there's still going to be people who make an us versus them. Here's why I'm right, you're wrong. And people who I can't spend time with people who won't allow themselves to venture into the gray area.
Right, totally. And it's like the whole like political landscape kind of, I feel like that's changing now. I feel like people are kind of starting to swing back to like sanity, but it was either like you're either far right or you're far left. And it's like, no, most people are not those things.
Yeah.
Most people are somewhere in the middle, but I could feel myself because like I've always been into like natural health. So I wore masks all through the pandemic, but I remember there was a point to where I started to feel like I got bit by Kid Rock. Like I was going to be one of those people who's like, I ain't wearing no mask. And they're like holding you down to the ground. You know what I mean? And they're like screaming and like fighting. You're like, you're trying to take away my freedoms. Like I could feel myself getting pushed to the right a little bit to where I'd be like, guns are a basic human right.
Well, I mean, especially in LA, it was like...
Yeah, because it was just so extreme to where I was like, shut up. Leave me alone. Stop telling me what to think.
Well, yeah, and it's like, how is this about freedom? I mean, I remember that too, because like when they reopened the restaurants and it was like, you have to wear a mask when you walk to the bathroom, but at your table, you can... It's just like, okay, so we're lying.
What the musical chairs are we doing? Like
this is so duck and cover in that South Park episode with the fucking volcano. Like you're out of your fucking mind.
So dumb. And then like after a while, I was like one of those people that was like, because like I said, I've always tried to be into natural health. I mean,
there's so much about natural health that Western medicine just isn't taught and doesn't give a fuck about.
Like I take Propecia, so my hair doesn't fall. I've been taking it for...
I take Propecia because my dick's too hard.
Yeah, all the time.
I've never had a problem with my hair, but my dick...
It won't go away.
It just won't let up.
Yeah, it won't let up. You know what I mean? And people are like, why do you have an erection at the with the DMV? I forgot, like, what are the 3 words? Why do you have why are you hard at the DMV, sir? You're like...
I can't wait to wait.
Yeah, it's like, I can't wait to get my picture taken.
Oh, I'm going to look so good.
Yeah.
I get my driver's license renewed every month.
If you had a disease that you just always had a boner, you're like at a funeral, like going and everybody's grieving. You're walking by, you're like, that guy has an erection while he's saying his
Mom! Yeah, no, I feel like...
That's the only medicine that I take, and I've been on it for like over 10 years, and it kept my hair from falling out. But
your hair looks great.
Thanks. You know, I used to use so much. I don't use Rogaine anymore, but I used to go through a 3-month supply every week.
You're so obsessive.
That's what I'm saying. I got to be in 12-step programs. 12-step programs.
Hair loss anonymous.
Yeah, I would like smear it, and it started giving me heart palpitations because I was like putting like
you were overdosing on Rogaine.
A whole 3 months. But then I would still be like, take like activated charcoal toothpaste. Like,
gotta stay healthy.
I'd be like, yeah, you can't have fluoride in your toothpaste. But it's like, dude, look how much Rogaine you're using.
Yeah, then it's like the way people are so hypocritical with things. I mean, what I can't take is the women. If someone isn't all about vaccines, that's fine. I get skepticism, whatever. Like, I didn't want to get one right away. Whatever. Women filled with Botox and filler being like, I'm not touching the vaccine. It's like, it's
Yeah.
what they put in your face. If you go to a person who does that, they literally call it a toxin. They're like, okay, so we're going to give you toxins. And then you're like, I don't know what's in that vaccine. And it's like,
and then they
whatever's
have-
in your face is probably enough. You're probably vaccinated,
Yeah,
so you're fine.
Probably have like crocodile taint like in your face or whatever it is that they're putting
Yeah,
in.
that stuff's always funny to me. Like, I had a roommate when I first moved to LA.
Or the
that-
people who eat McDonald's like, I ain't getting the vaccine.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
you're filled to the brim with poison.
100%.
Or my
It is
cokehead
hypocritical.
roommate who was like, is that organic? And it's like, you do street cocaine. You're doing, what do you think? You have pure Colombian cut organic
100%.
cocaine? I've seen you
100%.
crash into a drive-thru. Like, what do you?
100%. And I'm one of those people. I'm not anti-vaccine, but I'm like, I try to. I
try to minimize all of that.
I try not to take any of it. Like they called me from Kaiser from my insurance, and they were like
Tried to
they're
bully
like,
you into
Yeah,
it.
they're like, it's time to get your vaccine. I go, no thanks. And then she goes, she acted like I stabbed her grandmother. You know what I mean? And it's just like there's like this weird thing to where it's like there's no one size shoe fits all. Maybe some people should be vaccinated. Maybe some people shouldn't. Like,
Well, and it shouldn't be
everybody's
that
different.
divisive that if you
Yeah,
go,
it's
I'm not going to get that one, that immediately the leap people will make from, I don't know how I feel about getting the booster shot to going, obviously you're a Nazi.
yeah, it's like weird. Or,
fucking
like,
crazy.
Yeah, 100%. You're like, you think I'm a Nazi because I didn't get a booster?
Because I didn't want to get, because I'm fine.
Do you feel like that's gone away though?
I do
kinda
think it
feel
is,
like-
and I
feel
think-
like people kind of came out of that a little bit. There's still some nutty people.
Sure, and they're mostly just like lunatics on the internet. I think
Yeah.
it went so far that it forced people to go, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I think that probably both parties, so to speak, I don't want to make it about American politics, but that's like our frame of reference. It's like the spotlight was on both sides, not the spotlight, but the loudest voice was always like the most intense, like lunatic. And I think people just got fucking sick of it. And they're like,
They
I'm
did.
done. Whatever side they were on, they were like, I'm fucking sick of this.
It's like it shouldn't
Enough.
be such like my girlfriend and I have different political beliefs. We don't-
Really?
We just don't even talk about
Y'all
it.
fight, y'all fist
we,
fight.
We actually did get in a fight one time. Because
She knocked you out.
Yeah, she did. She uppercutted me, and then I landed on top of my car. No, we got it. It was something dumb. It was some dumb thing, but like we just decided we just don't talk about politics because it's not that big of a deal. We get along perfectly.
Yeah.
We literally never fight.
They're like, this particular
it's like,
thing,
why
we
would
see the
this-
opposite side on. Why are we going to like, I'm not going to change you. You're not going to change me. None of us are hurting anybody.
Yeah, it's like you can think like that all you want. Like it's not a big deal. And I wish more people were like that. It's like if I can be in a relationship with somebody that has different political beliefs than me, why can't you like be in the same room?
Get
with
along.
someone?
Yeah, the people
Get
who are
over
like,
yourself.
if you don't think this, that, and this, I'm blocking you. I don't even want to hear from you. It's like, that's a good way to fucking open up your mind.
Uh-huh.
That's a good.
It's so dumb. It's like or the condescending like videos. And it's like let's talk about this in three simple steps. You know when somebody's like talking about that, it's like number one, it's like this is a way that emboldens people with white supremacy. You know, like when people
Yeah.
like do those like kind of TikToks, and it's like, dude, this is not about social justice.
You're
This is
alone
about
on your
you-
toilet.
Yeah, you're alone on your toilet. Yeah, this is about you elevating yourself. To a
Yeah,
certain
you
level,
want to
you
feel
know?
like a hero, and that's so much like Twitter and social media, and it's like your post didn't do anything. Your post didn't help anyone. Like people
No,
going,
didn't do anything. It's
the-
self-importance.
oh yeah, like the changing of words, unhoused, fuck off.
Unhoused. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I saw someone go like, it's unhoused because homeless. They said home is where the heart is, and just because someone is on the street doesn't mean they don't have people who love them. And I just thought like, yeah, it does. Like if that
You
was
burned your bridges.
yeah, they ruined it for themselves.
Yeah, don't.
They
sleep with
robbed
your
their
brother-in-law.
family.
Yeah, don't sleep with your brother's wife.
Yeah, because it's like if you had people who cared about you, they would come go like just get in the fucking car. We'll figure it out.
Unhoused is so funny. What's so funny is
Did that help them at all?
No, I was doing an open mic one time, and I remember I was working on this joke where I was talking about how like people are like, if you vote no on the recall of Gavin Newsom, it's gonna get worse. I'm like, really? There's like a homeless dragon eating people outside of my apartment, and then like some guy came up after me. He goes, "It's actually unhoused." He goes, I'm unhoused.
You're unhinged, is
Yeah,
what you
you're
are.
unhinged and unhoused.
You don't have a home and you're doing an open mic.
Or unalive. Is another.
Oh, I think he
unalived.
unalived himself. Oh, did that make it feel better? Do you
Did
feel
that-
better about
you
the?
need to have a. You
That's
need to
like
have
for you. It's like that does nothing for the person
You need
hurting.
to have a severe word for somebody who is suicidal because it
It's-
does warrant attention. It is serious. It
It's-
should be serious.
You shouldn't be dampening it or
yeah,
tapering
be
it
like,
down.
he unalived himself.
We don't want to say suicide because that might trigger someone. Oh well, you should have said it because maybe it would have stopped this
Maybe it
guy from
would've helped.
fucking killing
Yeah,
himself.
right. Be like he unalived himself. It's like it sounds like. Yeah, did he make cookies before he did it? Like it just sounds so like sweet and innocent.
Yeah,
You know?
like,
It's
just-
ugh.
He's so kooky.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think there was that weird time, and I think comics just don't like. It could even be like something like we just don't like being told what to think
Yeah,
and what to believe. Like
yeah, and
we
I
don't
think
like authoritarianism, and it's like could be something that you agree with. Like I'm a Christian, but if somebody comes up to me and is like, "In order for you to be a Christian and a comedian, you have to do this," I want to do the opposite of what
Oh,
that
yeah.
person says because now they're telling me what I have to do and they're domineering about it.
yeah, it's
So
also like why was I ever trying to like fall in line with what someone said the rules were in comedy? Like if I'm gonna follow the rules, I'll just go work at a fucking corporation.
100%.
Like, what am I just trying to appease the person who's never gonna book me, who's never going to buy a ticket to my
100%.
show, who's like doesn't like my comedy anyway? Like, fuck off.
I think though the interesting thing though now is I feel like, do you feel like it's kind of in a place where you get your own fans and stuff like that? Like it's not really like it used to be. I kind of miss the old Hollywood model to where it was like auditioning, sitcom,
Yeah,
like movies.
yeah, where
Saturday
you
Night
like had to
Live.
impress people, had to be impressed by your skills, and
Yeah, and you find somebody who develops you and believes in you, and it's like that still obviously is a thing, but it feels like
barely.
there's 98 lanes on the freeway now. There used to be 6.
Yeah,
It was like what was it like theater, stand-up comedy, film, TV, music,
the radio.
Yeah, radio. I guess those were the 6.
Sorry, radio.
Now
As I'm
it's
making
like-
a podcast,
Yeah, now we're like competing for attention with like plumbers on TikTok. You know what I mean? Everybody's on like
it's
online.
insane.
like there'll be like a greeting card maker who's getting all the views. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like-
and then like you're like they're not even funny.
yeah, I know, right? So it's like it feels kind of interesting.
Well,
It
yeah,
feels
and
like
it-
everything's kind of changed.
Oh yeah, well, and I think like you used. I feel like more often than not. I mean, I'm like, did my boyfriend come home? He's gonna get so annoyed that I said that. I think the industry is getting lazy. They're waiting for you to already pop a lot of the times. Like, like it's rare now. It's more rare now for them to like find someone brand new and go, "Ooh, we should
Yeah.
introduce this person to people."
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like they're like, well, if they were really good, they would have already built an audience.
100%. I remember my old manager, the one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The one he was always talking.
I was like gonna say his name, but I won't.
Yeah, and he was always like, I remember he was trying to tell me what to do, and he was like, you're the next Jim Carrey, and I was like, cool, and I asked him what he liked that Jim Carrey did. I go, do you like Ace Ventura? He's like, no. I go, do you like Dumb and Dumber? He goes, no. And I go, do you like The Mask? And he goes, no. And I was like, what do you like that Jim Carrey did? He goes, I liked his stand-up. And I was like, that was the least prolific. I mean, he was a funny stand-up.
Yeah, but
But it
nobody.
was like, no, that was not what he was known for.
That's not what anyone talks
so
about.
he was trying to always get me to be something. And I remember he really loved Jerry Lewis, and he
Of course.
he pulled up this video of Jerry Lewis from the 40s answering telephones and smoking a cigar to like a jazz drum beat. And
He's
then
like,
he goes, "This
"This
is the
is-"
direction you need to be going in." And then that's when I fired him. And I was like, this guy. I was like, I'll just go and try to figure this out myself. 'Cause he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
This is the direction.
Yeah, I'm like-
1940s humor.
Yeah, 1940s.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, who, where, there, everywhere. Like he wants me to be like just completely, like doing a vaudeville set.
Deranged.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I say all that just to say I think like a lot of times it's everybody's just guessing of what's gonna be hot.
Yeah, and nobody really
there's
knows.
no way to predict it. You could be the most talented person in the world right now, but if that's not what people want, there's no demand for it, then it's just like it.
If that's not what's
You just have
popular.
to accept it.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's also like can be frustrating, but it can also be liberating to go like, oh, nobody knows. I think there was so many years when I first started where I felt a little bit like I was trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to be doing for the industry to notice me? And it's like, they don't even know. Just do what you think is funny. You don't need to try to like, if I do more of my jokes that are like this, it's like I obviously wrote from my own voice, my own perspective, but there were times where I'd go, oh, maybe I should do these ones that are more like this. Maybe I should be
Yeah.
more personal. or maybe I shouldn't be so dirty. And it's like,
And then it hurts you because now you're trying to like fit yourself into a box. I did that when I first got here. That's probably why I do so much self-help, because I was trying to fit myself into their box and be like, "Do you love me yet?"
I'm healed.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to heal myself so Hollywood would like me. That's really the root of it. I think that's why I don't really have social anxiety anymore, because I don't really care.
Yeah, because you're like,
It's a weird thing. I've kind of like let go of like, I work really hard and I've let go of like the results in a way, in a sense.
yeah, that it's like
Not
there's always going to be
completely,
that
but-
little part of like, no matter how much you enjoy the process, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's still work for me to do, and that's what this is, but like, there's always going to be that like little part of me, at least, that creeps up every once in a while. And is like, I can go like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I'm having fun at these shows. The audience is having fun. The industry doesn't seem to be on board with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I like. But every once in a while, every few years, I think I have a kind of like heavy moment where I go, but like, why don't they like me?
100%, because it's like,
But like, why not me also?
But I feel like, I don't know, we're all our own worst enemy. I feel like everybody thinks they're hilarious.
well, thank you.
No, for real. Like, I've never heard anybody say like, "Oh, she's not funny." I've
No,
never heard
I
anybody,
mean,
like literally anybody. I've never heard anybody say that about you.
No, I mean, I've never heard about you. But
Really?
I always...
I feel like there's definitely people out there who think that I'm annoying.
Oh, well, those are two different things.
Yeah, annoying but funny.
Well, I've never heard anyone say that about you, but I'm like, there's probably people who've said that about me, but like, you can still be like objectively funny, I think. Because
yeah.
there's people who I know, not you, but there's people who I sometimes go like, oh, kind of annoying, but then they go up and I'm like, God, that's so,
Yeah, this
that's
guy's
so
funny.
funny. They just like can't turn it off.
Yeah, that's a thing. I used to be one of those people who couldn't turn it off, and now I feel like I can.
Yeah, I think I just
I couldn't be.
shut down.
Yeah, you just stare at a wall.
Yeah, I think my body's like just powers down. It goes into just like
And
sleep
it's time to
mode.
get on stage now, and you're like, "Wah!"
Yeah, we're getting older. We have to harness the energy.
You really do. It's so crazy too. Speaking of like getting older and stuff, like, are you? Do you like watch your diet? Do you have like a? You and I have talked about some wacky diets. The carnivore diet.
Oh yeah, I tried to do that, and by the way, what was it?
Your
Blood
spleen stuff,
pressure like fucking tanked, or like I started getting heart palpitations.
Oh yeah, because you weren't getting enough electrolytes. That's
The problem is you're not
The
putting enough
problem is-
salt on your meat.
You're not putting enough
Maybe,
salt
but I
in.
just immediately, instead
'Cause you
of
lose so much water.
making adjustments, what I do is it's not working anymore, and I 360 and get fat, get in pain, like I just like can't.
It's so funny. I like if I eat too bad, I feel like I got stomped out by the Hell's Angels.
And too bad is not even that bad anymore. It's like
No, it's like I eat like meat, fruit, vegetables, and raw dairy.
oh, you're a raw dairy person.
Yeah, I'm a
that
raw
shit
dairy person.
scares me.
Yeah, no, I get it from Air One. I get the kefir because it's a little bit more fermented, so it like takes the sting out.
Okay.
But I do raw dairy and raw cheese too. So I do that, and then sometimes I'll eat like cupcakes or pie if somebody offers it to me. But, like,
Raw cheese, meat, fruit, and sometimes I'll have cupcakes.
yeah, like my girlfriend has cupcakes at her place, and I was like, I almost ate one before I came over here, but then I was like, I'm gonna be retarded on the podcast.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
if
like
eat a
tank.
cupcake, I'll be like, hey, do you like making people laugh? Like, what's fun about that for you? Like, I just turned dumb.
No, it
You
is,
know?
and the older I get, and I guess it's not even necessarily older, but like the more I stay on like a healthier nutrition
Uh-huh.
type thing, the more when I derail, it's so much worse. Like, and I don't know
Yeah,
how much is
yeah.
age and how much is just my body now that I'm healthier going, what the fuck are you doing with this thing?
Right. It's like, why are you dumping this crap in a system? It's like you got. Yeah, I just did a detox the other day. I did a bentonite clay cleanse.
Wait, okay, what is this?
I took 50 bentonite clay like pills a day.
I just
for
want to
5 days.
I want to interrupt you really quick to anyone listening. Don't do anything Matt's about to say without doing
Yeah,
research.
don't get this stuff. There's a supplement by a guy named Dr. Schultz.
Of course there is. It's Andrew Schultz.
No, it's called intestinal cleanse.
Okay.
And there's one. It's like there's these pills that make you like poop a lot.
You took
and-
50 of them?
No, not the pills that make you poop,
Okay.
but the bentonite clay pills. It has like bentonite clay in it, and so what it does is you take 10 of them at a time, 5 times a day for 5 days. So it's a total of 50 pills a day over 5 days. I guess that's 250 pills in 5 days or something.
So already knowing
Yeah, but
nothing,
you're like-
this is insane.
Yeah, but when you take the pills that make you poop, it's like got like hot sauce in it, so it hurts so bad. Or like not hot sauce, cayenne pepper.
How are you alive?
And you're like
Rocket launching
yeah,
off
like
the toilet.
You're like pooping out baseball bats. Like
Jesus
because
Christ.
it's like sucking everything in your system, and then you're just like pooping a lot, and like it's weird. I was on that cleanse, and I like pooped, and one day I go, I think my anxiety's gone. 'Cause, like, I think
One moment of
literally-
peace, and you're like, I'm cured.
No, I think it grabbed a bunch of heavy metals that were probably floating around from like the Rogaine that I'd been smearing over my head for the years.
Is that what it's supposed to do? Take out heavy
It
metals?
takes out heavy metals and a bunch of stuff, yeah. But it's like a
Bentonite?
intestinal-
That sounds like a metal.
So, well, I don't know if it is. It's clay, but the guy's name is Dr. Schultz. He's got an apothecary in
Oh,
Marina Del Rey.
you click on his video and it's like 3 hours before they tell you what they're actually selling you.
Yeah, totally. No, he's like he
An
looks good.
apothecary?
The dude like rides bikes on. I think he's like 85. So I mean, he's doing something right. He's like really
Okay.
old, but it's like he does these cleanses and stuff. And I'm not a vegan. I think veganism is kind of that's my opinion.
I think
It
you
doesn't work
need.
for me, I'll say.
I think you need meat. I'm trying to eat less
I
meat
do so well on meat.
lately, and it's more because of a documentary I saw about how we're just killing the earth.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to find like substitutes that have protein. I'm not giving it up. I'm just trying to cut back
Trying to cut back a little
so
bit.
I can. I mean, how much is me having one less steak a week really going to help? But in my mind, I'll be like, as a hero.
Yeah,
I might as well be Captain
on a
Planet.
hero. No, that's cool that you care. You know
But-
what I mean? I'm like, I
I'm
just
like, who am I saving it for? The earth is fucked.
yeah, and then I'm just like eating like a steak and everything.
You're just cutting up a
There's
cow.
like greenhouse coming out of my chimney. Greenhouse gases coming out of my chimney, and I'm like,
I've never felt better.
yeah, I'm like, I feel really good. And then there's like people that are dying around you.
Just everyone's dead outside your house.
Your house is wrapped in saran wrap, so you're just eating a ton of meat. It's killing everything outside of your house.
Just dead trees. Like, I think that house is haunted. No, he just eats a lot of meat and it comes out the chimney.
I remember I told this girl one time, I was like telling her about this doctor. His name's Sean Baker, and all he eats is steaks.
Oh, Sean, I followed him very briefly on Instagram.
He's kind of mean. I like
Yeah,
him.
see-
I like him, but he is kind of mean.
I got annoyed. It was like, at first I was like, oh, this guy's interesting. I liked what he was saying. And then I got like 4 posts in a row of him being like, oh, look at this vegan,
Oh, yeah,
stupid
yeah.
idiot. And I was like, I liked when you were giving information. I
Yeah, I like
liked
him
it
better
before
like
you
that.
were like roided out on ribeye and bullying vegans
Yeah,
in your comments.
lifting weights and then take a bite out of steak. And
Yeah,
lifting
because I'd
weights.
listened to him talk about like the carnivore diet and the research they'd done. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I think I unfollowed him like 3 days later because my
Yeah,
feed
no,
just
no, no,
got
he actually-
infiltrated with
yeah,
him.
yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
We're back from the accidental commercial break that was forced upon us because the camera
The
overheated.
camera just blew up.
And if you're watching this
Exploded.
on YouTube, if it happens again,
Yeah.
we're going straight audio. So go over to wherever you listen to audio podcasts, and if you want to finish, if you want the hot bonus ending of this. Okay, wait. We
It's
were
just use
talking
your
about
imagination.
Sean Baker.
Yeah, we were talking about Sean Baker, the guy who eats only steaks and just bullies vegans.
And it's like,
He's a.
why are you? It's like, it's already a strange diet. Like,
It's a very strange diet.
why are you a cartoon of the kind of person who eats only steaks? Like, then you go, they eat only steaks. That's who you picture is Sean Baker. It's like a
100%.
man beating people up.
Yeah, he's like roided out and like he's just like cussing about like vegans on his. It's like,
He's
dude,
so
you have
mad.
a wife and kids. Why are you mad about like this weird vegan doctor who lives in a different state?
It's
than
also
you do?
like, what is in the steak you're eating that you're so angry?
well, it's steroids are in it.
That's right. It is
I don't think you
not grass fed.
I don't think you can get that big from just eating meat.
Yeah, there's no way he's
He
not.
says he's hormone free or whatever, but it's like,
No.
dude, you are ripped.
Yeah, there's no way. You don't lose
Maybe
your
he
neck
is, I don't
eating
know.
only.
If he was saying this, he'd probably like clip this and be like, look at that freaking beta male that doesn't have any muscle on.
We should clip this and
I
tag
actually do
him.
work out a lot, but he.
Oh yeah, I work out a lot. Was he doing cardio? Gets on the. Was he doing 10,000 steps a day? And then he goes home and he eats his celery.
kale. And
Yeah.
I'm like, actually, no, I eat meat every single day.
Yeah, what do you eat? Fish?
Yeah, what
you
do
think that's
Beyond
meat? You having dino-shaped chicken nuggets? You big fucking pussy.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like,
Anyway,
Dude,
subscribe to
calm
my
down.
buy my 90-day program.
but I do like the guy because I do think he's helping people. I just think he's also crazy.
Well, I mean,
But
I
I am
think
too.
that's
So
like
I'm crazy too, Sean Baker. I'm out of my mind. So. But
personalities.
I would love to meet him, and I think I'd really like him a lot. 'Cause
I
is
bet
an
he
interesting
shakes.
dude.
I bet he tries to break people's hands when
When he
shakes
shakes
them.
it. Yeah, I
He-
mean, I try to shake people's hands with like a firm handshake because I'm from the Midwest, and you get like stoned in front of a Cracker Barrel if you don't shake
I
someone's
know.
hand. Like, you get back here and shake my hand.
Well, I've always done like a firm grip because I at some point, maybe it's just where I grew up, but like as a woman, it's like to be taken seriously. I need to like. I met a woman, a fully grown woman in 2024, because I guess it was a few weeks ago. I was introduced to someone at a comedy club, and I went to shake her hand, and she went.
Oh, I hate that.
I wanted to throw up. I was like, what?
I want to push people off a bridge when they do that. When they give me that handshake, I actually feel like it's weird. Something flares up. I turn into Sean Baker. I turn into Sean Baker.
Get your vegan fingers out of my
It's
face.
like, get your vegan soft, your freaking tofu fish.
Your meatless tofu sausages out of my face.
Yeah, I hate a weak handshake.
Me
It
too. And I don't know
really-
if it's biological or if it's because we were raised in places where people are like, you got to have a good handshake.
I think it's both, because people are trying to act like everything. Like, they're like, all these things that we have, it's just because of society. It's like, no, because you have to think of it like...
It came from somewhere.
I know everybody always uses this argument of like hunter-gatherers or whatever, but it's like...
Yeah, Sean Baker does.
Yeah, Sean Baker definitely does.
Your Instagram
But
algorithm.
yeah, this is my algorithm. You know what I'm watching. This is why my girlfriend and I have different political beliefs.
You're like, we just have to agree to disagree. Pan over to your laptop, and there's a shirtless man beating
Like
up a
doing
vegan
push-ups to
child.
a Jordan Peterson video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just Sean Bacon screaming about vegans. And she's
It's
like,
just wearing meat as a
she's
hat.
like, why do I like this guy? And she's like, it's probably just biological.
Yeah, it's in your blood. Tough man, save tribe. Strong, fight off bear.
But like, you have to admit, like back then, if you really were hunting for food, if a guy gave you like a weak handshake, you're like, this guy can't spear a fish.
This guy's not gonna.
It's not
But
gonna happen,
maybe
buddy.
he could. Maybe his
It's like
hands are
having a
so
401.
delicate because he had precision. You know.
Yeah, but he's throwing toothpicks. He's throwing toothpicks at like katydids, like at freaking like tiny bugs. He's like,
It's Moby Dick.
he's like little toothpicks, and he's like, yo.
Ah,
And she's
my rotator cuff.
Yeah, and she's like, did you kill that bug for me? He's like spearing bugs. You just see like a giant eye behind like an anthill.
Ha
Throwing a toothpick.
And then the ants attack him.
He's
No.
like,
I mean, yeah, it's just such a funny. Because, like, were they shaking hands while they were hunting and gathering?
yeah, it's like, nice to meet you. But I always had like my dad taught me that. He's like, firm handshake and look someone in the eye. But the weird thing is, it's that delicate balance, because you shake someone's hand firmly, but then you don't do it so much to where it's like, okay,
That they
dude,
think you got a thing going
then
on.
it screams insecurity.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, "Ugh,
They're like, we get
nice
it. You
to meet you
have a
Richard."
small dick.
We get it, dude. You can't see we can't see your penis when you put your pants.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It is. It's like you want to be firm, but not
You want to be firm, but not like it's
so aggressive that it feels like you're compensating.
yeah, because it's that balance, right? Like there's that balance between confidence. It goes confidence, insecurity, insane insecurity.
Where it's like, oh, this person's, yeah. Now they're just like the deranged. Oh God, it's so sad to see.
Yeah, when somebody's like, "What's your name?" It's like Kyle, and then they like
How are ya?
Yeah, how are you doing? And then it's like, dude,
I'm a CEO of my own company that I built,
it's like I'm
selling supplements that I've taken
Like,
from another
that I
company.
handcrafted, that I stole from another company.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because like that it is that delicate balance of like shaking the art of the handshake.
It is really something. It's
very very like you have to do it right, and because the dead fish thing, it's like, kill that guy. But then
no,
also the
literally,
guy
it
who's,
does
like,
make me go
squeezing-
like, we gotta get rid of some people. Medical technology has gotten too good. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah, 100%.
You shouldn't have made it out of the womb. You were the strongest sperm.
It's like I saw when we were like during the pandemic. I remember I saw someone in like a Breaking Bad hazmat suit and Whole Foods, and then I was like, this is like at a certain point, even if they told me there were asteroids that were flying out of the sky and like killing people, I'm not gonna like sit inside and be like ever. Eventually, I'm gonna go out. It's probably gonna hit me.
And it'll die
My
instantly.
shoes shoot off.
You showed them.
Yeah, but it's like
Vegans.
yeah, it's like, what are you guys, bunch of vegan pussies?
Trying to punch asteroids.
And then it just knocks your arm off and blood's shooting out. We think in cartoons.
I know.
Have you noticed that? Like,
I do that in real life though. It's like I'll get afraid that
our
like
imagination. We have a magic school bus imagination.
I know. I mean, I'll literally think that things are gonna blow up. Like in real life though, I go like, well, what if my tire just flies off? And it's like, you think your tire's gonna fly off because you went over a pot? It's not gonna fly off.
It's weird. It's like weird neurotic stuff. Like whenever I cooked eggs at my girlfriend's house and then I left and I was like, I didn't leave the stove on, did I? And I know I didn't because I'm like super paranoid about that. But I like doubled back and like went in and I was like, I didn't leave the stove on, did I? And looked at the stove. And then, because I just pictured like her house like burning down. She's got a condo, and I pictured all of that burning down, and her parents being like, "She worked so hard for this." And
Do you know how hard it is to get a condo in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles, be like, "You messed it up." And be like, "I don't want you talking to my daughter." And I'm like, I'm my 30s. Like,
Yeah, all that from you rushing out to get to a podcast.
to get to a podcast, I burn the house
because you're playing out this whole scene.
Yeah, and so it's like
It's not like, the house isn't just gone; it's her family hates you.
Right, it's like a weird cartoon that plays in your head. Like
I do it all the time.
A weird fantasy, or even like, you know, I used to, whenever I was a kid, I used to check the fire hazards in the house, and we had a big house, so I would check all the fire hazards because I was afraid that I would. You
died in a fire in a past life.
Yeah, I was afraid that I'd kill my family. Like I was afraid that like I would like have like a blanket too close to the radiator and be like, and then it would like catch on fire and be like, and my mom would be like, oh no, you know, like I would like picture that, and I would like think of things that could go wrong. And so I would like
I
be
do that
inspecting
too.
stuff. I don't do that kind of anymore.
I don't do it as much, but like
But
I will I want to say I don't do it as much, but that's my brain will just in any moment without me consciously really trying to do it, but I am imagining every worst possible scenario that could happen. Like
100%.
the amount of times I'm walking down the street and just vividly imagine that I'm going to fall and bust my face open and bleed out, and it's like what?
Yeah, it's weird. Do you ever have like intrusive thoughts to where like you're
Nope.
walking next to someone and you're like, that's so crazy that I could just grab them and throw them over the rail. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I have no desire to do it. It's like I would never do that in a million years. And then I think I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for them because I picture them like falling and screaming.
Yeah,
and, like,
and they're just existing in your head.
they're just like, I asked you if you wanted to go for me to pick up anything from the grocery store, and you're just looking at them like this, and you're like, I feel so sorry.
You're like,
for
oh,
you.
you're bleeding out.
Yeah, and it's like, I love you.
Why would I do that to you?
Yeah, and it's like you're just sitting there looking at them. I used to think of that, like, be like, I could literally just hit that person in the face with a frying pan and like, send them to the hospital, or I could like grab the knife and just start stabbing everybody.
You know what's so funny?
It's like a crazy intrusive thought, and I'm just like, I'm not considering it. I hate that these things pop in my brain sometimes.
I think they're more common than people think, or like
Probably.
Or
We're
like
just the only ones who talk about it.
oh yeah, or like when they say like a lot of times, oh, the reason heights are scary is because like you have an instinct to jump off, or like
yeah, I mean, I think,
or I think about jerking the wheel sometimes, which I think Bill Burr has made like a joke about. We were just driving on the street, and you think like, what would happen if I just ended it all? Right now?
Yeah, like I was driving over an overpass, and I'm like, I could literally just like swoop the car off and like flip it off and be like.
Yeah, and anytime if there's like a little bit of traffic and I'm like, you know, when you're like changing highways and you're on one of those big like overpass turns and I'm like, this thing just crumbles. And I'm like, what?
Like you could literally imagine if
just
somebody
flying off the side.
Imagine if somebody made you mad and like on the road, you could literally just floor your car and be like, boosh, and like smash into.
I know. Or like I think all the time about like, what if I just accidentally swerved and flew off?
Did you see the video? It was on Instagram. It was like, I mean, there's so many videos out there, but it was a viral video of a guy. They ripped him off at the car dealership, and then they're like doing paperwork, and he drives his car through the plate glass window.
It's Sean Baker.
He's like, I thought I told you vegans to not rip me off. And
What
I'm
is
like,
that?
We're not even vegans, sir. No, but
What's that paper made out of bamboo? I'm ripping up the contract.
Yeah. And so he drives it through the thing, and it's like this fat guy that waddles out of his car, and he's like, I already told you. He's like, he's really pissed off. But it's like, and then people in the comment section were like, yes, we're all fed up. And I was like, what exactly is it that you're all fed up about?
Yeah.
This one car dealership? Because I seriously doubt that.
Yeah.
The level of entitlement that people feel right now, I think, is amazing.
But yeah, it's also just like,
You know?
well, you let them fuck you over and now you're mad about it? Like,
Yeah,
you
you
should have
should've-
said no to the deal.
Yeah.
Fucking, you signed that contract, you
And then
dipshit?
he drove-
Walk away.
He drove the car through the thing, and like almost like people jumped out of the way.
And now you don't have a car. Now you have a
Now you're
lawsuit.
going to jail.
Oh, you were mad about the $200 a month payment? Well, now you're in prison, you fucking idiot.
It's so funny.
But that's how they get us.
Yeah, that's how they get
That's
you.
how the man holds us
I was
back.
at a car dealership one time, and I was signing the paperwork, and the guy who sold me the car, I'm not even kidding, I was at his desk. He walked past me and farted, and I was like, is this like a metaphor for what I just got myself into? Like, I don't think he was trying to. It wasn't like a blatant thing, but it like snuck out. It was like, "Meow."
That's so funny. Man, car dealers, they know how to fuck you over.
They really do.
It's
How do they get married? They're like,
how do you trust that
how
guy?
do you trust? Yeah, because he's kind of screwed.
He's in just like a crooked tie and he's negotiating your marriage contract.
Yeah, he's like, here's why. We need to
Here's
be-"
why you need to be with me and I'm not getting you a ring.
Yeah,
Hear me out.
hear me out. Yeah, and he like sells him. He's like, closed her. And then, like,
Yeah.
all of his fat car dealership friends, because I feel like they're always fat.
Yeah.
They all have like the belly. They all like high five each other.
Yeah, and their pants were like way below the belly. That's so great.
that whole
How
thing.
are their asses so small?
I feel like the coffee at car dealerships probably smells like farts because I feel like all those guys are like farting.
Need a little motivation. Just drinking out of the pot. You look like you should be in a Chevy. Okay,
That's so
wait.
gross.
I don't want. I could talk to you forever. I want to talk a little bit about teaching because you teach now.
I do, which is crazy.
You teach middle school, which is
Yeah,
the
and it came from doing that 12-step program because I realized I was like I need money, and I was substitute teaching, which is not much money. And it's like teaching's still not a lot of money. I'm like I need money. You know what I'm gonna go do? It's like you're definitely not,
teach. That's why you need to be in a program. Is like
yeah. It's like
I need money. I'm
not
gonna
making enough with comedy. Let me
I'm
go
gonna make an
teach.
effort for the thing that is publicly known to not pay well.
Well, LAUSD pays the best. That in New York.
Oh,
So it
Okay.
doesn't pay a lot, but it
yeah,
pays,
relative to the cost of LA,
but
but
it pays.
more than if you're a Florida teacher.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like with LAUSD, after like 7 years, you can make like 6 figures. But it's like it's
What?
it's-
How do I get into teaching? What the
you
fuck?
just have to have a bachelor's degree, and then
I
you
have
get
one. How do I
credentialed.
do it? Sign me up.
So it's like the first.
Do you need an
year-
assistant?
The first year, yeah. The first year, it's like it goes up every year,
Oh,
and so but the thing
because
is,
because people don't stay.
No, they don't. They're like, you won't make it till year 7. I mean, the goal is not to teach forever. I'm teaching in supplementation.
Yeah, of course.
To survive LA. But the thing is like, I did start really liking it a lot because I do like kids.
Yeah.
Like, I actually do like kids.
Yeah, look
I
at
think
that
they're
mustache. Of course you do.
hilarious. It's
No,
so
I mean,
funny.
and you're a drama teacher. That's
Yeah,
fun.
it's drama, but the crazy thing is, it's middle school. If I was gonna teach high school would be more fun. I like teaching middle school, but it's tough because like I don't really get to teach them how to act.
You're not
I'll tell them-
nurturing anyone's real talent. You're just
No, well, there are some kids that are actually talented. And I'm like, holy crap! But then there's like another kid that's like literally filling up a glove with with water, like a like a.
he's like, it's
rubber glove with
performance
water.
art.
Yeah, and he was like, I yelled at him. I was like, "What are you doing?" And then he's like, "What? I'm just filling up a rubber glove with water." And then I was like, "Yeah," and it exploded all over the classroom. And so it's like you deal with that all day long, to where you're just like,
Do you have a classroom?
I do.
I
have
just
a
remember
classroom. I'm teaching full time.
my
so
middle
it's like-
school drama class was just behind the stage. It was like on stage behind the
we
curtain.
have that, but then like I have access to that room, but the problem is like when I'm in there, they like tear up the curtains and stuff because they're middle schoolers.
Yeah, they're monsters.
We had boom mics, and they were sword fighting with them. And then I was like, "Why are you doing that?" And it's like, "Well, we found it in the closet." And I was like, "So you thought you'd sword fight it?" With
You
it?"
just thought these are swords now?
These are swords now, and he was like, "Ugh." Everything that they do, they always act like they're the victim, and they did nothing.
It's like what?
You realize from teaching middle schoolers, it's the same people like that you used to see on Cops that were like, I didn't do nothing. It's like you threw your wife in a deep fryer, and it's like, I didn't do nothing. It's like the middle schoolers are the same thing. They're like, I didn't do nothing.
You can't prove it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can. I'm
Yeah,
like, I just watched you do
You're
it.
literally holding it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like literally, it's
You're
like,
covered in Mountain Dew.
put her liver back inside of her. Like that's what it feels. It's crazy, but I started doing that, and it's kind of cool because the majority of my comedy act now is just about teaching. That's all I really talk about on stage.
It's like,
I'm just around it all day long.
well, yeah, I
So-
feel like when people have a kid, the amount of just material that comes from every comedian I've ever seen have a kid, suddenly they have immediately a new hour.
Immediately.
And now you're surrounded by
kids.
that you don't have to I mean, you give a fuck about them as their teacher, but like,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, if I talk about this one kid, obviously you're not naming their names, but it's like, not your kid who's going to later look back and go, oh, you just thought it was funny that I cried as a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought it was a hoot. So you're like, I'm not going to give them dad issues if I make jokes about them terrorizing
No.
me.
In middle school, it's so funny.
It's multiple
because
kids and the worst kids because
Yeah.
it's middle school.
it really is.
The best middle schooler is still a middle schooler.
100%. And I like all the kids, but it's like collectively, and since it's drama, it's like a dumping ground. So like they're like, oh, this guy
Drama,
sucks.
not trauma for those who
Yeah, drama. Yeah, it's like I got drama. That should be the name of the podcast, drama.
Drama. It's just you talking about what went wrong in your
just
class
talking
every
about
day.
What went wrong and be like, today, John set a water fountain on fire. But no, they'll
So
give you those because they, especially as like a first year teacher, they give you they give you the kids that nobody wants. They give you the orange jumpsuit kids that you know,
Oh
the
no!
ones that have like the fugitives, the John Wayne Gacy's, the
Yeah,
Jeffrey
the
Dahmers.
15-year-old 7th graders.
They'll be like, this guy's 28 and he's in 7th grade.
Can
Let's give
beat
him
the shit out of you.
Let's give him the drama teacher. He's like punching the drama teacher.
Hey,
in the
let me
face.
be in the scene.
Yeah, let me be in the scene, y'all. No, it's all. It is.
Give me a part. It's improv.
You're teaching cholos how to do Hamlet, and that's
The camera's dead, but who cares?
yeah. But it's crazy because it's fun, and but yeah, it's challenging, and I don't want to do it forever.
Yeah, it's just
It's
a means to an end.
It's so hard, but yeah, I got to go back to school, and I'm doing that.
You
and
gotta,
so-
what